What's up, everybody? It's your girl Jennifer, aka JMac, and today we have two special guests. So today we have Manuel and Michael with us, but we also have Erin that's back in this episode. The topic that we have today is finding your daily consistency. So, Erin, do what you got to do.
Thanks. Well, first, I want to say, hey, everybody. Just to get us started, what daily habits do you currently have that you're proud of, and how did you establish them?
I'd say I just started the whole gym life. So I'm waking up every morning at 2 a.m. basically.
So, what time do you go to bed at?
He doesn't.
Um,
He just lays in bed and then decides to get out
that's
at
my
2
secret.
o'clock.
I never go to bed.
Okay, well,
No,
that's
I
not
usually
healthy.
go.
We're just gonna say that's maybe a habit or a daily routine that could be fixed and needs to be fixed.
Yeah, I usually go to bed like around maybe 10-ish, and then I go to the gym at like 2.
So, what time do you get up? Like one?
No, it's pretty much just at 2, and then from there I just get dressed and go.
Okay, so 4 hours. No, that's good. That's like the minimum.
I always thought that the average would be around 5 to 6, and then I guess they would say like the best would be 8.
5 to 6 is ideal, but like four, science has proven that you can function on 4 hours of sleep. You'll be very depleted. You won't be like fully functional, but you will be able to function and maintain.
What about you, Michael?
I mean, not necessarily anything in particular. I guess, like, especially with my job now, it requires me to kind of be a little bit more organized. So I think I've kind of developed more organizational skills, if anything. Before, it was kind of very just winging it. Like, all right, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. If it doesn't, then whatever. But now I find myself kind of planning out a little bit more. Maybe not my whole day, but at least my work day.
What do your like daily routines look like that you've developed since this shift?
Figuring out what to do when. So like when I, let's say for example, wake up, take my kids, go back home, then I get ready, then I go to work. And then it's just a full like list of the things that I need to get done that day or the things that like I left off from the last day. So I have an idea. So I'm not kind of just hitting the ground trying to figure out what to do. I already kind of have an idea of what needs to get done. And then going and picking everybody else up towards the end of the day. And then kind of your standard like dinner, gym in the night. That's become more of like the routine than anything else.
How does that make you feel at the end of the day once everything is said and done, every box is checked?
If everything flows fine and I'm like in bed by 12 without anything that I left kind of, oh, I should have done this, then yeah, I mean, cool on to the next day, Like I wouldn't necessarily still go like, oh, huge pat on the back or anything, but it's a lot less stress than other days when I have things that are left.
I would say for myself, something that I'm actually proud about is my consistency with following my workout program. Because usually I could be on 1 week and then off 2 weeks because so much of my life happening or all like the Konami stuff. And I just never make the time to be at the gym just because I'm either overwhelmed, tired, or doing everything but that. Lately, I just feel because of the workout program that my coach made me do, for some reason, I feel more organized with everything.
So, how do you say you prioritize your tasks?
I think what happened from before was just me doing all of the tasks and not giving it to other people. Or I'm too last minute, like I procrastinate a lot.
So, what would you say motivates you to stay consistent with your daily habits?
Well, okay, like small business wise, if I'm gonna go back with talking about Konami, what motivates me is to continue building the community because of the positive feedback that I've been getting the past couple of months, the messages, the support. That's what motivates me. The visions, when I do explain it to other people and they understand where I'm trying to get at, that's what continues to push me to do what I need to do in terms of like tasks or, talking with the team or even doing these episodes. In terms of my everyday lifestyle, I always tell myself I just want to be better than what I was yesterday. That is what always keeps me motivated. I always just want to be better.
Love to hear it because honestly, everybody has those tough days. Like, I have to admit, like, even today is just one of those tough days. But it feels good to know that everything is still getting done. You just have to suck it up and push through it. And some days are going to be harder than others.
If I had to be honest, the one thing that I am struggling with is the consistency of just improving my sleeping patterns or just my sleep in general. I don't know what it is about the this week or like the past couple days, but it's just maybe the bare minimum that I'm getting is 3 because I'm either on and off or I'm like sleeping super early and I'm awake like all night. So I don't know what changed, but that's something that I still struggle with. I've always been more of a night owl. Like I've always been like that at such a young age. And I'm really trying my hardest throughout the years to just have a decent sleep. Like stop being a night owl.
Honestly, it's hard because I'm the same way, but I just found like a bedtime routine, like have a consistent bedtime. Like even for me, on weekends, I'll still get up early. Like as much as I want to sleep in, I'll purposely set an early alarm because once you like screw up that pattern or oversleep or undersleep, like it screws your internal clock too. JMac, you're just go, go, go. Like you're always going and doing something. Like take a second to just sit and just breathe, girl. Like take a minute.
I'm
You'd
try-
make my head spin. And now you have the cutest little mocha latte caramel kitten.
like truthfully, yesterday I barely slept because I just wanted to keep monitoring her. Like, is she okay? What is she doing? So, Erin, I actually have a question in terms of somebody that's either a beginner or currently have that mindset of saying, no, I have to be at the gym. Like, I can't skip. Like, what kind of advice or maybe even like a tip would you give to those type of people?
Yeah, no, trust me, it's still a hard lesson I'm learning too. Like I just got over a really bad cold and let me tell you, the second my fever broke, my ass was in the gym. I guess I would say be honest with yourself and just tell yourself it's okay. It's okay to take a rest day. Like it's okay to just stay home and lie in your bed. It's okay to come home and take a hot bath as long as you're taking care of yourself in some sort of way. It counts as part of your routine, part of your habit, part of your training because you're fixing your body one way or another.
While you were explaining everything, immediately I was just wondering if any of you ever had a moment of anxiety over the thought of taking a break. Like, have you guys ever experienced those moments of, yeah, you've been consistent, but you're also exhausted, but you're trying your best to push, but the thought of just resting is what gets you anxious? I know for me, like in my past experiences I've had, to the point where my anxiety feels where my whole body gets itchy. Like my whole face gets red, my body gets itchy just over the thought of just slowing down.
What is it about slowing down that makes you anxious?
From back then, the reason why was because of it goes back to my sleep schedules, right? So in my early 20s, I would be in the gym by 3 or 4 in the morning because I can't sleep. Maybe I'm only running 2-3 hours of sleep. I have to get ready back for work, but I'm super brain fogged. There's times where my energy is like super in my peak and then I'm crashing. And when I have to get things done, it's just like, okay, now I'm getting anxious, I'm getting overwhelmed because I know that my body can't hold up to it, but it's just my patterns is just not the best.
Would you say you fixed some of those patterns from then till now?
I mean, like in terms of like the itchiness or like the anxiety that I had before, it's a lot calmer. Like I haven't had that kind of experience in a while, but there are moments where I am in my head. Like the thought of needing to slow down from time to time, I'm like, oh my God, but I can get so many things done.
How do you deal with those emotions and that rush of anxiety? Like, what do you do in that moment?
That I will be very honest with you guys. I still don't know. Personally, for myself, for me to slow down, and this is something that I would never say do it, but I mask it by either smoking THC or CBD, just so that I'm just like dead. I'm on the couch, like fuck it, I'm done.
Have you ever tried like that 3 in, 5 out technique, like the breathing technique?
I don't think I've heard of that one.
It is. It's just like a breathing system to try and help lower like your heart rate when you're feeling like super on edge and stuff. So you inhale for 3 seconds and then you hold it and then you exhale for 5 seconds. I'm not sure, like don't quote me on the full biology on it or anything, but I believe it's like the idea that your heart rate tends to run slower when you're exhaling than when you're inhaling. So that's why you exhale for a longer period of time so that you're forcing your heart rate to slow down for longer periods of time, but obviously you still need to breathe, so that's why you do the inhale too, and that's why it's not as long as the exhale, and it's supposed to help with calming people down.
How do you stay consistent when life gets busy or overwhelming?
I don't think I've ever really had like an issue with staying consistent, but besides that, I'm like super not consistent with the courses that I'm taking, which is something that I really want to like get better at. I gotta like separate some time, maybe an hour to at least do like a lesson or two.
If you can get up at 2 a.m. to go to the gym, I'm pretty sure you can find an hour of your day to focus on something for you.
I need to do it. I just don't know why I haven't done it yet.
Because you're
Because I was doing
procrastinating. Do you have like a deadline when these need to be done, or is it just like whenever you get it done, you go for the test?
Yeah, it's just on my own time. So I guess that's why I'm like not pressured so much about it.
See, and that's where discipline comes into play. You need to have discipline and develop habits and stay consistent to say, hey, I don't want to do this, but I want the end goal. So I'm going to suck it up and do it, even though I have zero desire to. This is kind of like the basis of this topic here is how do you stay consistent when life gets busy or overwhelming?
If it's something that you're like dead set on, yes, I need to stay consistent with this sort of thing. It's kind of a matter of how much of a priority it is to you. I guess from a personal example, like the gym for me, right? Like I have set days and I have a schedule that I like to stick to as far as like I want these to be my rest days, I want these to not. And if for whatever reason like it shifts in that week, as long as I still go, it's fine. Like that's where my consistency lies. I want to make sure that I still hit this amount of days, even if it's not the exact same days. I think it's the flexibility that kind of helps, that you're like, I want to make sure that I still hit the same goals, even if it might not be at the same time every now and then because life gets in the way. By not focusing on, the stress or the fact that it's not the exact same day you're used to, and instead making that sacrifice and being like, okay, cool, I'm going to do it on this day instead, as long as it gets done. If the end goal is kind of what you're thinking about rather than the obstacle, then I think that's the more important part to kind of get you past that out of routine funk, if you will.
No, 100%. And that's a huge thing too, especially on those hard days. You really have to think about the big goal. When you want to quit, like you've had enough and you think you're never going to get anywhere, think about the end goal. Even say it to yourself out loud, like step by step, I'm doing this because, and then I have to do this because. Obviously, life's going to happen and it's not going to go according to plan, but at least you're constantly reminding yourself of why you're doing it. What would your ideal consistent day look like, and what changes could you make to move closer to that ideal consistent day?
So like and again, I guess this is gonna go back to the gym again because it's like probably the most inconsistent part of my day nowadays.
Mhm.
Some days I end up going like super late at night, like midnight, and other days I go like on my days off, for example, I go like early in the morning. And so on the days that I go early in the morning or the days that I don't go at all, I'm in bed, ready for bed by midnight at the latest. On days that I have to go at night because, life and work and everything else, I go to the gym at midnight and I get home at like 2 or 3. So my sleep schedule ends up getting shifted on those days that I have to go in the night. If I had to make a shift, I would probably try to make an effort to make sure that I kind of, on those days at least, shifted my gym to like the start of my day rather than the end of it. But that involves getting up super early, and that's the harder part for me, is because I am not a morning person.
Have you maybe tried just like slowly, like day by day, like maybe just try getting up half an hour early, getting used to that, and then maybe set it so you get up half an hour earlier and then get used to that? Nobody said you had to make this drastic change and suddenly start getting up 3 hours earlier.
That sounds like a good idea, actually.
Honestly, I just think I have to like I mentioned before about the classes. I got to take out like an hour, maybe like right after work when I get home before I do anything else. Since the gym's already out of the way, I have a lot more time on my hands now. Honestly, I think it's a lot of it has to do with the fact that I don't have like like a date to like actually get everything done. So
So let's give
it's
you a date right now. How many lessons do you have left?
I'm only got like a quarter of it done.
How long is a lesson?
The lessons aren't long. That's not the issue. The issue is the information, making it stick.
But after you're doing these courses, like, are you reviewing any notes? Are you going over any information? Are you even taking notes? Or are you just doing the modules because they're online and they're easy?
I've been pretty much starting with doing the modules.
Maybe that's why the information isn't sticking. And maybe that's why you've been procrastinating because you know this and you just don't want to do it. You just don't want to put the effort in to sit there and actually take notes and learn it when it's so easy to just do the modules. Okay, so how about we set your exam date for September 30th?
Okay, so are we all agreeing September 30th? Yes.
Yes.
Setting
Go
some-
team. Yes.
So we do have an accountability group called the Gain Train in our Discord server. It's more towards like the focus of meal preps, like healthier lifestyle, whether it's fitness, like better stretching routine, eating routine, or anything. But I guess we can also just put Manuel's end date in there too. Just everyone will keep track on him. So we'll put a note of that.
I don't mean to chime in, but is there any way you can actually tag me in that like meal prep channel that y'all have?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would greatly appreciate it because that's actually something that me and the wife have actually been working on and trying to get right and everything. She actually used to meal prep. I've never done that, but it's something that we've been very actively talking about, and I kind of want to get into.
Yeah, no problem. I'll do that. Like as soon as we're done with this recording, I'll put you in the game train, introduce you to the whole accountability group. I guess we have like a listener, but now speaker in the episode. So, Erin, is there any questions you want to give him?
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking about daily consistencies. What is it about meal prep that stopped you in the past from doing it?
Honestly, I've never even tried to do it. It's just something that I've always looked at, and I've never really known what the appropriate approach would be for it. Like how much of this or how much of that, or what I should be meal prepping or what I shouldn't be meal prepping.
So, have you ever thought about like reaching out to someone, a nutritionist, a personal trainer, maybe a friend about getting this type of information or try to find resources about any of it?
I talked to a personal trainer once and he told me that he would help me out, and then he vanished out of nowhere.
Yeah, that is the problem with personal trainers, especially it's happened to me before too, and it's a really hard situation because now you're probably wondering like, why do I even want to try if they're not going to even be there? But welcome to the channel and welcome to Discord. It's going to be great. So now you have a whole group of people, not just one, not just two, but a whole group that's going to help keep you consistent. And if you want to send me a message after, I can definitely provide you with some great resources and some great nutritionists if you're willing to just sit down and have a conversation with them just to give you a better understanding, or maybe you can ask questions. And that way you're going to feel more comfortable going into this process about meal prepping because now you'll know what you're doing.
100%. I would love to do that. And I've actually been a part of the Discord for a while. I was actually a part of Ultra Titan a couple years back before it fell through. That's actually how I made it to this Discord. And I've been a part of this Discord for a while. I've actually learned quite a few different things as far as from the community. I've actually learned like the community aspect actually helps with the consistency, let alone like trying to just simply do it by yourself. Having people to keep you accountable and having people who are also going through the same things and being able to see that, it actually helps motivate you to get to your goals because you see them achieving their goals.
Do you hear that, J Mac? It's all coming.
Oh, my heart.
Honestly, like this specific like little chat that everybody's having right now is the first one I've actually ever been a part of or heard. Like I haven't had time to be able to actually sit down and listen. So I don't know if y'all have done this before, but if y'all have not, or if y'all have, either way, please keep up the good work. Y'all are absolutely phenomenal.
Oh man, that
Well,
means a lot, actually.
Before we end, Erin, is there anything that you also want to include, or any of you guys?
is there any advice you would give to someone who is just starting out or just trying to start a new habit or maybe break an old habit?
From my own experience, when it comes to starting a better habit, I would say my agenda is my bread and butter. Like that is my everything. Just writing my goal, like my daily tasks, my monthly, my weekly, just really like highlighting it, coloring it. For some reason, seeing colors what helps me. What helps me more is when I cross it off, when I accomplish it, I do the highlighting and stuff. One thing that I tend to do before the new month arrives is my big goals, but also my smaller goals. Like, how do I get to that big goal? I really like to dive in deeper, ask myself a couple questions. So in some ways it's a bit of an agenda, but a little bit of a journaling for me at the same time, so that when that month is done, I can always review it and see, did I accomplish it? Did I not? And if I didn't, it's okay. I'll try again for the next time.
I think I would say, I know pretty much we've all like heard this before. Everyone does stuff in their own time. Not everyone's the same. Don't be so hard on yourself that it took you more time than someone else, because either way, you got to that goal.
That's a huge thing. You don't know what they're going through internally. They don't know what you're going through internally. And it's just there's a whole bunch of variables, and it's just so important to not to stay positive, especially for yourself, and just remind yourself that you're doing a good job. It's you versus you. It doesn't matter what another person is doing. Just focus on what you're doing. Take it step by step, and you will get there. All right, I guess one last thing, unless anyone else has anything to add. No, that's okay. I would just say, everyone listening, tune in. Feel free to join the Discord channel. Jump on the podcast. We'd love to hear from you guys if you have any questions, or if you feel like you need resources or help, or you just need some type of support, like feel free to reach out. Like we're here for it, the community's here for it, and just let us know.
All right, so I guess like Erin ended everything off. In terms of our Discord server, just follow us in Konami, and yeah, we'll catch you guys for the next episode.